When I think about the 276 Nigerian schoolgirls between the ages of 15 and 18 who were snatched from their dorm rooms in Chibok, Nigeria, and forced into trucks at gunpoint, I can't help but realize that it's all because of some 15th century medieval consciousness on the part of some backwards thinking men living in the 21st century. These men are opposed to the education and empowerment of women in the 21st century. Yet they are not opposed to the kidnapping or the rape or the torture or the sexual or physical abuse of women. And don't get it twisted, it's not just Nigerian men. You can see the same regressive mentality in one form or another in men from almost every culture on this planet. Creator, forgive us for the brothers going around shooting grandmothers in their driveways, going around robbing mothers at stores, and causing teachers like the teacher at Pershing to be a referee in the classroom, trying to break up some mad dogs from trying to kill each other and then lose her job in the process. I feel it necessary to apologize on behalf of men in general and black men in particular to all of our daughters, sisters, and mothers for the ignorance and neglect and abuse that has demeaned and belittled and diminished the value and the resourcefulness and the power of motherhood and womanhood. I feel it essential to make amends for the travesty rendered by oppressive communities of men, whether religious or secular, who continue even in the 21st century to deny women equal protection under the law or equal access to institutions of intellectual development. I feel compelled to ask forgiveness on the part of a male-dominated hip-hop culture that continuously distorts the essence and the beauty of black womanhood by way of negative images and stereotypes and slanderous labels and derogatory language in the name of entertainment and financial profit. In his book, Tough Notes, A Healing Call for Creating Exceptional Black Men, Hakeem Mahabuti says, no man among us should not feel pain in our hearts for the sexual objectification and the spiritual, intellectual, and physical oppression of young women and girls that occurs in all nations. We should all be outraged. Each and every man, whether young or old, must understand that it is indeed within our power to make a significant social and cultural change in our lives in terms of how we treat and relate to our women. Change doesn't start out there somewhere. Change starts right here, right within. It starts within our families. It starts within our community, within our organizations and institutions, realizing that certain attitudes and actions and behaviors are an impediment to progressive thought and human development. As men, we ought to honor our women in general And as black men, we ought to honor black women in particular, because they are the ones who have carried the weight and the baggage and the criticism of the black family in this age of single parenthood and absentee fathers. It is our beautiful black women, from Harriet Tubman to Fannie Lou Hamer to Michelle LaVaughn Robinson Obama, who have provided a backbone to our struggle during the times where there were no backs or no bones. Honoring black women is not some romantic illusion about mama and grandmama always being there to heal a cold or fix a meal or keep the church open or provide hard-earned dollars for life-sustaining essentials. Black women have raised an entire generation single-handedly, with little or no help from the men who claim to love them. More often than not, black women have been our answers, no matter what the question. We ought to honor black women because they are the yes and the can-do in the midst of crippling denial and mistaken visions, demeaning history, and amidst the politics and economy of illusion. We ought to honor black women because we understand and appreciate the sacrifices and the commitments that they have made to be nurses and doctors and teachers and engineers and scientists and professors and lawyers and judges and university presidents and PhDs and entrepreneurs. We ought to honor black women because of their tenacity and self-determination to be carpenters and police women and prison guards and professional basketball players and tennis players and track and field athletes and artists and writers and poets and wives and mothers, or just plain old good women. We ought to honor black women. We ought to honor black women because we would not be here, brothers, if they had not said yes to black families. Their commitment to us is the first and most lasting fact of our reality today, living in a male-dominated world. As men, if we truly love the women in our families, we ought to ask ourselves a critical question. Do I love, care for, and respect all the females in my family at the same level that I love, care for, and respect myself and the other males in my family? Somebody say, change begins in the mind. One thought at a time. And it is in that spirit that I want to pour libation on behalf of the black women who have been our pillar and our strength and our mountain and our bridge over troubled waters for decade after decade after decade. We ought to honor their spirit and their sacrifice and their love and their loyalty. We ought to honor their presence among us now. And so I want you to join me in this libation and call out the names of those strong black women that have brought us this far by their faith, by their courage, and by their commitment. Earl B. Clay, Zola Chu, Essie Moore, Odessa Johnson, and Kubwa, and all those who have gone before, and we say Insah, Insah, and Insah.